This short video follows my project of making a model of the MiG-242 seen in the first episode of the Gerry Anderson TV series Joe 90.
Today is the first time that foreign correspondents have been allowed to view the 242 at close quarters. Professor McLean, where is your boy?
At this moment, he is probably climbing into the cockpit, and a few moments from now, he will fly it away.
This fictional aircraft has always been a favorite of mine. Like most of the vehicles seen in the Gerry Anderson TV shows, it is a good-looking, yet practical futuristic design. The aircraft was designed by the series VFX designer Mike Trim, working with the series VFX director Derek Meddings. In reviewing the design, I quickly realized it was largely derived from the Angel Interceptor, which featured in the prior Anderson series, Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons. I don't believe there is any intentional connection between the two aircraft in the Century 21 worlds. This is a behind-the-scenes connection only. The bulk of the fuselage is from the Angel. The wings, rudders and tail planes are from elsewhere. The Derek Meddings model team developed a technique called kit bashing. This is taking parts from model kits and using them to add detail to original models. It seemed likely then, that the MiG-242's wings came from a commercially available model kit. Swing wing technology was still a new thing in the 1960s, so the possibilities were limited. Aurora produced a 1/48th scale kit of a General Dynamics F-111. Looking at some details on the F-111 and the MiG-242, I was confident that it was an F-111 that had been used, especially as the Angel model was about 18 inches long, so the Aurora kit parts looked to be about the right size. My model was going to be built using the Airfix Angel, which is about 6 inches long, about a third of the size of the original model. So I needed to find an F-111 that would be the same size relationship as the Aurora F-111 was to the Angel VFX model. I found a 144 scale F-111 in production and I purchased it and crossed my fingers. I test fit the pieces from Airfix Angel and the Minicraft F-111. It looked good. Actually, it looked bang on. In reviewing the kit parts, I realized that in addition to the wings, the tail planes as well as the tail fin and wing fairings had also been used from the 111. The MiG has twin tail fins. The F-111 has only one, so 2 kits were required. From the DVDs I had purchased, I had ready access to all the footage featuring the MiG. Fortunately, the action takes place in bright daylight, so you get some pretty good views of the plane. However, it is often moving fast and is quite blurred. There are several publicity stills of the plane online and in books. I didn't create any plan views or construction drawings as I had so many of the main components from the 2 kits. Due to the size of the model, I decided not to include the undercarriage. But it was critical that there was the option for the 2 swing wing position. The 2 extremes of the wing are handled by magnets that hold the wings in the correct positions. When swept back, they simply align flush with the leading edge of the tail planes. Small metal pins are embedded in the wing at the correct position to connect with the magnets. The area to work in was tiny, with the thickness of the plastic being a major factor. I am not sure if the cockpit of the MiG-242 is in a different position than on the Angel. The canopy is quite peaked on the VFX model, and it quite flat and round on the Airfix kit. To make the best of this, I built up and recut the opening, allowing the canopy to sit pitched down about 20 degrees. I found a drop tank that was the right shape, but the diameter was slightly too large. So I used this as a mold and cast the inside, which was an exact duplicate of the external contour, just smaller. This became the basis for the nose, replacing the Angel's nose, and was blended with plastic card and model filler. The probe is a sewing needle with the eye cut off. I used the Angel pilot figure supplied with the Angel kit. This is a generic RAF pilot figure, and does not resemble the super models, as featured in Captain Scarlet. Haha. I removed the helmet and did a rough sculpt of Joe's tiny head. He is painted in the iconic red jumpsuit seen in this episode. The air intakes are from the Angel, the teardrop detail removed with a scalpel and sanded smooth. The rear of the fuselage was scratch-built from about halfway down the wing fairings. This included removing the Angel's tail fin. The underside, or belly, of the plane was scratch-built from plastic card too. A small slot was cut for the display stand. The underside fin is scratch-built from 3mm plastic card. I love this part of the design. The MiG's central fin was made from laminated plastic card. The profile matches the original exactly. I made a 1:1 scale printout from the profile shot. Then rubbed soft pencil on the reverse side of the paper. Pressing hard with a hard pencil and tracing the outline on top of the plastic card, the exact shape of the fin was transferred. Parts of kit sprue were used to make the nubbin on the central fin. This was then blended with Humbrol model filler. The tail planes are from the F-111. The tail fins do not sit level, they sit at a 10-degree angle. I think it is this way to allow clearance for the wings in their swept position. A small jig was made from balsa wood and used when gluing each tail fin. Using the same jig ensured the fins matched exactly. The correct angle was derived from a front view of the MiG. The teardrops on top of the tail fins were made from missiles and sculpted milliput. A duplicate was cast. The jet nozzles were scratch-built from rolled-up paper printout of a ruler. The facets were created by applying 1mm Tamiya masking tape to the printout and then rolling this up. I had originally intended on using the exhausts from the F-111 but they were too big. One weapons pod was scratch-built. The front is a P-51 drop tank and the rear is a missile. This was then cast for the other one. The plane was given a coat of grey primer. This helped to highlight any gaps or other signs of the construction. The plane is matte white. Leading edges of the wings, tail planes and other surfaces are silver or bare metal. The canopy framing is dark grey and other trim such as the underside of the nose is black. The Russian stars and numbers were custom made in Photoshop, using screen grabs as the template. There are many thin black stripes and red stripes seen on the plane and these were also made in Photoshop. These were then printed out on decal paper. Liquid cement was used wherever kit parts were being joined together as intended. But super glue was used on most of the assembly when scratch-built parts or pieces from other kits had no locator pins. As with all vehicles in the Gerry Anderson shows, the MiG-242 is quite weathered. This was part of Derek Medding's constant goal for maximum credibility and realism. The weathering was done with dry brushing on certain panel areas. Using a cotton bud, dabbed very lightly in light grey paint and then smudged over the edge of tracing paper. This gives a sharp edge indicating where the panels meet, and is streaked in the direction of travel. The panel lines themselves were drawn on with black biro on the studio model. I used black biro and pencil and tried to keep the scale effect. I made some decals for a standard Airfix clear plastic stand which say MiG-242 and the Joe 90 logo. And that's it. Mission accomplished, as Joe 90 himself might say. I hope you found this video interesting and useful. I wanted to say a very big thank you to all of the people who worked on the Gerry Anderson TV shows. The level of imagination and craftsmanship brought to each and every episode is an ongoing inspiration. Please let me know any comments or any questions. Thanks for watching.